You're now listening to From the Jump.
Welcome to From the Jump, your source for all things hip hop. I'm Syllable. This is my co-host,
Mr. White.
And we're featuring today Wordsworth.
Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment below saying I subscribed, and we'll try our best to reply to your comment.
Wordsworth, how you doing?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing, man?
It's so good to have you on the cast again.
Yes,
we really appreciate you joining us today. You were probably one of our first really landmark interviews that we had. We first started this cast a year ago, so we appreciate you returning for a third time on the cast. Third time's a charm. And we want to talk about this course that you have at the University of Miami. Now, this is dope as fuck. Wordsworth has got an illustrious career. He was one of the co-founders of MTV's Lyricist Lounge. He was on Tribe Called Quest, Rock Y'all. He was on Black Stars twice in a lifetime off of Mos Def and Talib Kweli or Black Star. He went on tracks with Prince Paul. He's done a lot of really amazing stuff, and we're really lucky to have him on the podcast today. So why don't you just run through with us a little bit about why you decided to create the course, and then we'll get into some of the contents of that.
I've been just trying to figure out how do I just stay evolving as an artist and as a person. It's what do I do next question. I've been middle school teacher for 8 years, and within that school, I built a curriculum in there. So then I had time to mold that. And I was just molding it, and then learning about how to write curriculums and put them together. So then I was thinking, like, it would be dope. Like, what's the next thing? I'm in middle school, maybe high school. Then, being around my other peers that do universities and professors, I was just like, I want to do it on another level. Because my vision is just like, how do I take this to a level? I know what I'm doing is kind of unique. Next level. What's the next level, highest level? So, I got an email from the university about being an alumni for a dinner. And I said, let me just shoot my shot at this. Hey, are y'all interested in any new curriculums? Because they do non-accredited courses online already. I had took one already, because they said, send it to us. So, man, I just shut everything down for like 2 weeks, man. And just like, I just wrote. Within a week and a half, they got back to me and said it's a go.
Wow.
Yeah.
So about how many hours is the course?
It's about, I would say it's not necessarily, it may be like an hour, less than an hour, man. Honestly.
Okay. One of them course in less than 2 weeks. That's impressive by itself.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. There's even a part on there in the freestyle module. You get about 2 minutes of a beat you can freestyle to. You can actually leave your freestyle, record yourself, and leave it there for other people to watch your freestyle. Oh, nice. And overall, it's probably like a 20-minute course.
Well, I like that interaction. I took a course like that on the Skillshare back in the day with a guru. I was learning how to make Superstitious by Stevie Wonder, and I think that interactive course was some of the best learning that I've ever had. So, no, kudos to you for building something like that specifically for just rhyming and rapping. I mean, a lot of people, I'm sure, gonna love it, man. Like,
thank you, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's a songwriting course. That's what I want people to make sure they know, like anybody can take it. So you don't have to be a rapper. You could just be a person that likes to songwrite, or you could be somebody that's just getting into songwriting, or you could be somebody that's a professional that may get all these like writer's blocks. And it's me on the screen teaching. So it's not like you're reading something, because I've been on those courses too, right? Online courses, you read. It's the question, you answer it. It's actually me saying everything, giving examples and stuff like that. So, and I get to look at the work and interact. If you need to email me, you can email me. It's very interactive, man.
You've always had a passion for education. For those that haven't already seen this episode, check the upper right-hand corner of the screen and check the South by Southwest presentation interview that we did with Wordsworth and Jay Rawls about the connection between hip-hop and education, how to bridge that divide with students through hip-hop. Take us through the course. Tell us a little about it. So there's 4 sections.
So there's 4 sections. So you got, the first section is the art of freestyling.
Art of freestyling. I'm Vincent Johnson, also known as the hip-hop artist Wordsworth. Known for my attribute as a freestyler. I also appeared in the film Freestyle, The Art of Rhyme.
Now, let me tell you, when I started writing it, I was very apprehensive. I'm writing it, and I'm like, they ain't gonna know nothing about no freestyle. What are they gonna be? They're gonna be like, what's this? You know what I'm saying? But I realized my journey has always been to create something new. For those that don't know, I graduated through college writing all my stuff in rhymes. That's how I graduated my first degree. So I took a chance and did it that way, all my subjects. So I'm the type to just be like, let me try it. So I did that first one, freestyle. I was kind of like, I don't know if it's going to work. I should do a different one.
How do you teach freestyle? Which, for those that don't know what that is making up raps on the spot. How do you teach someone to make up raps on the spot?
It's really about a train of thought on how you freestyle. Really, it's really about like when you talk, you know the end of your sentence already.
This is true.
So I get into the, I guess the method of how to think ahead. So one of the slogans of it is think ahead of what you just said. So I kind of walk you through how to think ahead of what you just said, how to observe your surroundings, and then take your surroundings and then put it and encapsulate it into freestyle.
Yeah.
How to even welcome mistakes. Whole nother part of freestyling is confidence.
Yeah.
Right. So you get a lot of people that they'd be like, I don't want to do it because I'm afraid to mess up. But actually the messing up is some of the best parts of it. So I get into that, I delve into that, I explain it. It's so dope, man, because the lyrics pop up on the screen next to me. It's dope, man, when you see it.
I think that freestyle is a lost art, and I think people have forgotten the importance of freestyle in hip-hop culture, or the inspiration, the muse that you channel when you freestyle and you get in that zone. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, I think overall what I say in it, though, the biggest part about it is not being like dope. It's about having fun.
Absolutely. I think before I get to the battling segment of my life when it came to freestyling, like in high school, and, we was really just trying to eat each other and come with the most, derogatory stuff. My earliest music was Wu-Tang, right? And we didn't even, it was instrumentals on there, but we would just rap over the songs, over the lyrics. And it'd be me and my bros sitting in the Oldsmobile. The enjoyment of that is what kept me going in music. And if I think back to why I do music, it's from those purest moments that I had where I was just saying something, having fun.
Yeah, the program, the curriculum was dope. I think about it what I think is dope about it is takes you from that freestyle element in which we all start off with. My name is such and such. The next part of it is the shopping list. Step 1, at the top of the page, in the middle, we're going to write shopping list. We're going to write dish/topic. So now you got these thoughts, and instead of freestyling, how do I mold the best things from maybe that topic I came up with freestyling? So maybe we was talking about the moon. All right, so now how do I start writing a dope verse about the moon? Because freestyling in the car, talking about the moon, we was having fun, but it's not tight yet. So now I take the shopping list and I'm able to extract everything from the moon. When you go shopping to the store, if you don't have this list, you always forget something, right? So it's help. Wow. Yeah, so you
apply some real English to this because that's like writing like an outline to your paper, right? Before you actually write the paper.
Yeah, and everybody knows if you go shopping and you don't have a list, you come home and you forgot something. That's just what it is.
Real time.
Right? So now you go from that, and I love that module because I help you write through a whole thing of writing a rhyme, and I'm talking about a shopping list, and in it I'm using metaphorically creating food. So having ingredients. So it goes into that. Then in the third module, you got the rhyme grid. You ever try to find the right rhyme for a line you design, but it takes too much time? So the rhyme grid is something that I created. It helps you understand that rhyming is not about how it's spelled. It's about how it sounds. So if you get rid of how it's spelled, you'll be able to come up with more rhymes, right? So that's the thing. You have to train yourself to kind of get into that vibe. And then you have to understand dialects and things like that. So a lot of dope artists, they're able to understand that it's not identically rhyming, it's actually sound. So I teach about that, a lot of that. And I go from one syllable to about 4 or 5 syllable words, and then how to break it down into rhyming with those type of syllables, and not necessarily being just word on word. It could be spelled. It could be 4 words that rhyme with 1 word.
So controversial topic, right? How do you feel about people who don't rhyme a lot nowadays? I know it's not saying that people don't still rhyme, but it's like it's becoming less of a thing because people are getting more melodic. So it's like the way that they're structuring songs, like in the way that they take breaths at the end of their lines, they're able to kind of get away with it a little bit more. It's like they're more like drum patterns on top of a beat instead of like actually like poetic, right? Because I feel like that's where the rhyming comes a lot from poetry.
Or they and it's like there's not even a series, it's not even a full 16. It's like 4 to 8 bars just repeated over and over with a well-produced beat, but the beat is like making up for the lack of lyrical content.
Yeah, I think what that's coming from is similar to what you were saying. From some people I've met, they're poets already. So they kind of are they're putting it on beats and making it rap songs.
Mm-hmm.
So some of those people are actually not even necessarily into the rhyming as much. They're more into kind of spewing their words, if I should say that. And then for the ones that don't necessarily rhyme, there's this new generation of just vibe music.
Yeah.
There's just vibe music. So a lot of people aren't even going in the booth with written stuff no more. It's straight off the top. Straight off the top, punch me in, I'll come up with the next line. All right, I got these 4, punch me in. So the time of the process is not the same because the audiences are different. So our audience that we may like is cool. So that type of stuff I'm fine with, but if it's that type of audience, that's probably not. I'm not gonna listen to that for the most part. But I do like vibing, on certain stuff. But that's not
a place for it.
Yes, and I think you have to get in that mindset of, all right, we're in hip hop, but I don't own every verse and song that got to come out. I'm not there like, nah, that can't make it in.
Bro. I appreciate that. You've always been balanced like that. You talk about, letting the genre evolve and not being stuck in this space of thinking that if it didn't sound like it did back then, it's not good. It's like, you're teaching rhyming, but if that's not what people want to focus on, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But I imagine, like for me, like it's a big part of like how I rap. So like I definitely love like what you're talking about, this rhyme grid. Like it's pretty dope.
The rhyme grid is dope, man, because it breaks down how to think about rhyming that people don't normally think. So I do it in class sometimes. I do it actually every semester with the kids, and they be like, oh,
nice.
Also to say like a lot of the stuff that I'm telling y'all and we're discussing, I'm dealing with middle schoolers, so they're putting me on to what's going on. So I'm able to like say, yo, the flow's fire, and then start building with them lyrics and then helping them understand how to make it stronger and show them like, yeah, that flow's fire, but you could do low, and then you could be like, I was in rank and I'm going to the mic and the thing. Like, so I'm showing them flows and no words yet. So I'm trying to get them to understand melody. And then they're starting to understand like, man, I got to figure out how to find my own melody and become me.
I was just talking with Malik Youssef the other week about the changes between like say 90s hip hop versus 2000s hip hop. And he cautioned me, he said, we shouldn't try to become so much of a hip hop purist in the sense of what is hip hop and what is not hip hop, because these new jacks that are coming up with stuff, maybe not as defined by your generation of hip hop, but they're also helping us older heads rediscover things that we wouldn't have heard about or thought to think to frame hip hop in, and that we need to also take a moment to learn from them as well.
There's so much to this, man. Like, just think about your time of how much time you have as an adult compared to a kid. They're engulfed in it at their age with all their friends every day, running outside, open mics, this and that. So their world is totally different of what they're doing. But I can reflect on when I was young, I'm running around with nothing but time on my hands. Now that we're older, you don't even have enough time to be engulfed in what they're doing. So being that you're not in it so much, you may have a little bit of like prejudice towards it because you're not in it, because you ain't young.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, you got to remember when you was running around, people older than you didn't know what the heck going on because they older living life. So I just kind of be reflective on that. And instead of that, just be like more welcoming. Like, show me what's going on? Who's hot? Let me go listen to that. Go play that. Okay.
Nice.
Oh, okay. That's fire. That line is actually from here.
That Drake is actually taking 90s R&B songs and remixing them, right?
Before you the original.
Yeah, exactly.
Before you the original. So now that's where the bridge. So I think we have to be mindful of, carrying the wood and being willing to build a bridge with them.
So what's after the rhyme grid?
Yeah, after the rhyme grid, we got a technique called 3 relatives, in which it helps you understand how to not write a song only about yourself, right? So a lot of things with writing songs is you'll write a song about love and it'll be like, you know, I broke up with her. Why you do this to me? I used to like this. And instead, you know, it takes you to understand, like, why not think about the laptop's perspective?
Mm.
All these messages I gotta hear. People keep tripping ear to ear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, stop typing on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, right. You know.
Well, I mean, I think we were talking about, you know, Lupe's class over there at MIT, and he was breaking down Stan, right? And he was, you talk about, you know, what Eminem does there in terms of talking from the perspective of a fan, right?
Yeah.
Like, so taking himself out of this personal element and putting himself in the body of somebody who's really in love with his music and him as a person.
Yeah. So like even Nas did the you know, I'm a gun, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of artists have done that perspective. So with me, with the three relatives, I not only break down the perspective of choices, I break down the angles in which those choices can be used. So no matter the theme that you choose, whether it's talking about cars, I can give you three relatives. You know what I'm saying? If it's talking about walking your dog, I can give you three relatives. And what I mean by relatives, it started from a thought of family members' perspectives, but also what's relative to the topic.
Makes sense.
So that's why it's three relatives. It's really family. It's really based on writing songs based on family members, but then also take it into anything you want to say or think about. Is three relatives to that you can all find, and those could be your three verses. So I got that technique from when I was younger, trying to figure out how can I write the song faster. And so I would always know my first verse is me, my second verse is about her, and my third verse is going to be about the dog. Once I knew that, I was already knew where I was going. See, now all I got to do is write the verses because I know the perspectives that I love. If I love those perspectives, I already know what the song where I'm going. So it's kind of like helping you understand just like the perspectives and how to use them.
Yeah, Outkast has done that as well. Joe Budden has a song, it's called Three-Sided Story, and it's one of those that really stuck out because it was three different perspectives from three people for one situation. And it's captivating. It brings you in.
Yeah, so that's the thing about it. If you kind of take this approach of the three relatives, I'm telling you, I've used it so many times. When I started writing, I was just like, man, I can't wait to people don't even understand how fast I can come up with my three verses because I just think of the three relatives and I'm done.
Yeah.
So once I got my three relatives, I'm not even worried about writing rhymes because I know I'm gonna write the rhyme dope. You know, I'm like, yo, I just need to know what am I writing about. And I think that's the way that this helps you is to figure out what are you going to write about that you love real quick for each verse and now start the song. And now you can tie in different things, different angles. Once you pay for the module, it's $200, so it's basically $50 a course. And then you keep it for up to a year and you can just rock out on it. And you can sign up any day. It's open. It's just open, sitting there for as long as I wanted to sit there. So that's the other thing about why I love doing it. I can add more modules later on. I just come on. What's up, y'all? I'm Wordsworth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like my own masterclass for people.
Yeah, that's dope as fuck, man. And it definitely builds a foundation you can keep going to. And that also links up with hip hop and business, music and business, how to do music as a business instead of just as a hobby, creating that residual income from something that is not time dependent. And the fact that you don't have to spend hours, it just comes passively through people signing up for the course. And I think that's dope.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like I said, man, early on when we were talking, is just how do we evolve this thing we love? That's really it. If you're a chef, I'm sure if you're a chef, you're there cooking every day, but you're like, let me try this paprika with this. Ooh, and then you let people taste it. And then you like, ooh, I'm gonna start making that. You're always in the lab. And you know, all of us got labs up here thinking, constantly thinking of the next way to reinvent ourselves or evolve as ourselves. And I think at the bottom line and the heart of it all is how am I contributing to the world?
That legacy.
How do I contribute to the world? And that doesn't have to be on a level of television, music, radio, but just in general, do you fulfill that you contributed something through raising your kids, taking care of your family. Just you're always thinking that, and that in itself is satisfying to a lot of people. Just my kids are straight.
Yeah.
I just want to watch the game.
Yeah.
That's it. Everybody good. I just want to watch the game, and I'm content with that. Yeah. So don't forget, I got this kids book Socks that's out right now. Shout out to my co-authors Darnell Wright, Lamar Richardson, and it's a 8 to 14. So elementary to middle school. Shout out to the schools that have been buying it. And we've been doing socks tours. So I got ambassadors that go to schools, do a whole big experience with the kids. So get it. It's on Amazon. It's called Socks. Fragility of Life album out. And don't forget my first book, Words of Worth, right there.
You a hip hop entrepreneur, Wordsworth.
Absolutely, man.
Trying to figure it out.
Wordsworth, we really appreciate you stepping up on the podcast and talking about your course at the University of Miami on how to do songwriting. That's really dope as fuck. For everyone else that's watching this episode, check the link below this episode in the comments. Please like and subscribe and tune in for another episode of
From the Jump. Peace.